Hey guys, welcome to day 8 of fractions. I'm so excited about today because we are going to start word problems, which means that we're going to use everything that we've learned in the first part of our unit and actually start applying it to some real life situations. So let's get started. Alex bought some chairs. 1/3 of them were red, 1/4 of them were blue. The remaining 35 chairs were yellow. What fraction of the chairs were yellow? Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a bar model. Okay, and so I've drawn my bar model there, and I bet you have noticed that we've got two different fractions in our word problem. We've got a third and we've got a fourth. So if we want to section off our bar model to reflect our whole, we're obviously going to need to find a common denominator, aren't we? So let's change these to twelfths. So I'm going to multiply the third by 4/4 and the fourth, or 1/4 by 3/3, and I'm going to end up with 4/12 and 3/12. Okay, now we can section up our bar model because we know that our whole is going to be in terms of twelfths. So the first thing I'm going to do is split it in half, and actually I didn't quite get the middle there, did I? So let's try that again. Split it in half. Okay, now I'm going to split each section into thirds. Now I've got sixths, don't I? So I need to split my sixths up in half so that I get 12. Okay, there we go. Now we can start marking it. 1/3 of them were red, so that equaled 4/12. So let's go ahead and mark that. We're going to write red. One, two, three, four. Right there. And 3/12 of them were blue, so let's write blue. And the remaining 35 chairs were yellow, so the rest were yellow. Okay, so I'm going to actually write 35 up here. And we'll put some brackets around this portion. What fraction of the chairs were yellow? That's my first question. Well, we can look at our bar model right here, and we can see what fraction of the chairs were yellow. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/12. So I'm going to write 5/12 of the chairs were yellow. Then you have a question on your notes. It says, how many chairs did Alex buy total? And I don't have that printed on my PowerPoint here, but for letter B, we're answering the question, how many of the chairs were yellow? Okay, so when we look at our bar model here, and we look at 4/12 of the whole being red and 3/12 of the whole being blue, that's portion of the entire whole, right? And then 5/12 of the entire whole are yellow. That's not a number of chairs, though, because that wouldn't make any sense. Obviously, he didn't just buy like 1/3 of a chair, 1/4 of a chair, 5/12 of a chair. So we need to find the number of chairs. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually solve this with unitary method. So we're going to say 5 units is 35. Then we'll divide both sides by 5, so 1 unit equals 7. And now we want to know how many of the chairs were yellow. Oh, how many chairs did Alex buy total? Sorry. So we're looking for the total. And I should have marked that up here, so let's do that. Let's do a question mark and then some more brackets. And since we have 12 units total, we're going to multiply both sides by 12, so we'll have 7 times 12, which is going to equal 84 chairs. Okay, let's do the next one. The next one says, Max spent 3/5 of his money in a shop and 1/4 of the remainder in another shop. What fraction of his money was left? Let's take a look at our bar model here. I'm sure you're seeing that of the remainder portion of the word problem there and having a little panicky flashback to percentages, but I promise you this is not hard. So let's just break this apart. The first part of our word problem says that he spent 3/5 of his money in a shop. Okay, so let's just go ahead and let's divide our bar model up into 5. And here's how much he spent in the shop. And then it says, and then he spent 1/4 of the remainder in another shop. Okay, now here's our remainder, right? These two over here. I'm looking at that, and I've got 2 units right there. I can easily split that up into fourths and then show exactly what he spent in another shop. So let me go ahead and change colors here really quick. Let's do blue. If he spent 1/4 of the remainder in another shop, that's this portion right here. Okay? And I'll put, let's put shop B for that. Okay, so now we want to know what fraction of his money was left. Now, here's the thing. I can't just count these units, right? Because my bar model right now is split up into little units over here and big units over here. So what I need to do is, if I'm going to section off these 2 units over here and have them, I need to do the same thing over here. So what I've done is I've just found an equivalent fraction, basically, okay? So now I can answer this question, and it says, what fraction of his money is left? That's this portion right here, and it looks to me like that equals 3. And then since we subdivided our units, we are now in terms of tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's how much he had left. My second question says, if he had $90 left, how much money did he have at first? Okay, well, now I can assign those 3 units that $90, and then solve for 1 unit. Which is going to equal $30. And then solve for 10 units, because I have 10 total units up there now. Which equals $300 at first. All right, let's do another one. Jill gave 5/7 of her cookie to Jack and ate 1/4 of the remainder. If she had 9 cookies left, how many cookies did she have at first? This is a similar problem. You should give it a try before you come back and check. Okay, so let's start with the first part of the word problem. It says Jill gave 5/7 of her cookie to Jack. So let's mark off how much she gave to Jack, and let's section this bar model up into 7. And it said she gave 5/7 to Jack. So let's mark off 5 of those units. And then 8, 1/4 of the remainder. I have 2 units remaining there again, so I can subdivide that so that I'm going to end up with 4 units. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to subdivide here. And remember in the last problem we talked about, if we subdivide part of the bar model, we need to subdivide the whole thing. Okay, now I'm set to mark that. Let's see. She ate 1/4 of the remainder, so that's this portion right here, isn't it? Whoops. She had 9 cookies left. So let's mark that with a 9. How many cookies did she have at first? So now we'll just solve for 9. So 3 units equals 9 cookies. 1 unit equals 3. And of course now we've subdivided our fraction, or our fraction bar here. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 units. So we'll solve for that, 14 units. So 14 units equals 3 times 14, which is going to equal, 42 cookies. All right, I'm just going to demo one more problem here on the video. So go ahead and skip in your notes to number 5. And it says that 2/5 of the donuts in a box are chocolate, 1/2 are glazed, and the rest are cream-filled. There are 20 more glazed donuts than cream-filled. How many donuts are there altogether? Whoa, this is a really busy problem, okay? We're going to need to break this down. So let's just start with the first part of the word problem and see what we have. We've got some information that says that 2/5 of the donuts in a box are chocolate and 1/2 are glazed. So let's stop there and let's figure out what is a common denominator between fifths and halves. And I'm thinking the lowest common denominator is going to be 10. So let's change those right now to tenths. Okay, well, since I'm having some problems with my pen, I've gone ahead and just modeled this on the screen for you with the shapes. So I have changed those fractions to tenths. So the 2/5 is going to equal 4 tenths. The 1/2 is going to equal 5/10. And you can see that I have that marked down here in my bar model. So 4/10 are chocolate. I divided my model up into tenths. 5/10 are glazed. And then it says up here in our word problem, the rest are cream filled. Okay, so since we've got 4 units over here is chocolate, 5 units is glazed, we just have 1 unit left for cream filled. It says that there are 20 more glazed donuts than cream filled. Now, we want to know how many donuts there are altogether. Okay, let's take a look. If there are 20 more glazed donuts, let's just take a look at how many units of glazed donuts I have. I have 5, right? And then I have 1 of cream. So I have 4 more units of glazed donuts than I do cream-filled donuts. So that's what I'm going to write. 4 units is going to be those 20 glazed donuts. So we'll solve for 1 unit, which is going to be 5 donuts. And since I only have 1 unit of cream, that's how many cream donuts I have. But I want to know how many donuts there are altogether. I need to solve for 10 units. So 10 units is going to equal 5 times 10, which equals 50. Okay, well, hopefully that gives you something to go on with the word problems. Just keep in mind that you should always be bar modeling these, and we're going to use unitary method extensively to solve problems in our fractions unit.